Hello and welcome to ARIRANG News Break. It's Wednesday, June 22nd here in Korea, and I'm Han-daeun in Seoul. Our top story this morning, North Korea has test-fired 2 mid-range ballistic missiles this morning, the regime's latest act of defiance against the international community. Let's go straight to our Connie Kim, who's standing by at Seoul's Defense Ministry. Connie, what are you hearing from officials there?
Well, hi, Dawn. So this is what we know so far. North Korea fired 2 projectiles off its east coast this morning that are presumed to be intermediate-range ballistic missiles. The Joint Chiefs of Staff says the first missile was fired at 5:58 a.m. South Korea time from the North's Wonsan launching area. The military says it presumes that launch was a failure as it appears to have flown for 150 kilometers before exploding in mid-air. Now, the second launch attempt was detected from the same area at 8:05 a.m. South Korea time. That's around 2 hours ago. And the military is still looking into whether that was a success or failure. But that's believed to have flown 400 kilometers. The U.S. is also currently analyzing that launch. Atan, it would be a big deal if the second attempt was deemed a success. And that's because the previous 4 Wonsan missile launches before today have all resulted in failure. Now, this blitz of test firing comes after Kim Jong-un ordered in March that the military test fire a ballistic rocket topped with a nuclear warhead. The Wonsan missile has a range of up to 4,000 kilometers, so theoretically it could target anywhere in Japan and even U.S. military bases in Guam.
So, Connie, we have an idea on what's driving the North to test all these missiles, but what are the experts saying?
Well, Don, the general feeling is that North Korea is trying to garner international attention as a high-level North Korean foreign ministry official is currently in China. Choi Sun-hee, Deputy Director General of the Foreign Ministry's U.S. Affairs Bureau, is in Beijing to attend a forum where a U.S. nuclear envoy will take part as well. Now, senior official Lee Soo-yong's visit to China last month also coincided with an attempted Wonsan missile launch. And also, some watchers in Seoul say Kim Jong-un is trying to gain attention ahead of its major parliamentary meeting next week, where he's expected to carry out follow-up measures to the landmark Workers' Party Congress held in May. Now, the latest launches are likely to be condemned by the international community, and more sanctions against the regime could be coming down the line. Back to you.
All right, Connie, we'll have to see how the South Korean and the U.S. government react to this latest provocation. Thank you. Amid North Korea's continual provocations, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden says he told Chinese President Xi Jinping that Japan is capable of going nuclear virtually overnight in a conversation where he urged Beijing to do more to curb North Korea. In an interview with PBS, Biden said China has the single greatest ability to influence Pyongyang by cutting off a range of things, but it also could cause the implosion of the regime. Biden said he explained to the Chinese leader that the U.S. is trying to bolster its defense system in order to counter North Korea's nuclear threat. When President Xi brought up what his military would think seeing the U.S. surround China, Biden asked him what would happen if Japan went nuclear overnight. Biden didn't say when that conversation with President Xi happened, but added that he had spent more time with him than any other world leader. While the government's announcement to scrap new airport construction plan in Gyeongsang-do province got many people up in arms, Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn is chairing a follow-up cabinet meeting this morning. Prior to the meeting, the Prime Minister told reporters that expanding Gimhae International Airport is the most reasonable and viable option. He said the decision was based on a thorough and comprehensive research on the necessary preconditions of building an international airport. Hwang also attempted to calm some of the angry Gyeongsang-do citizens, vowing to enhance accessibility from the province to Gimhae. The new Gimhae Airport will break ground in 2021, aiming to be completed by 2026. The majority of Korea's top 30 business groups saw their overseas sales drop sharply in 2015 compared to the previous year. As our Kim Min-ji reports, that raises alarm bells for Korea's export-reliant economy.
The overseas sales of Korea's top 30 business groups are falling at a faster pace than that of their domestic sales. Conglomerate Tracker CEO Score says combined sales of both home and abroad of over 1,000 business units of 30 conglomerates sat at over $1 trillion in 2015, down 6.3% from the year before. Of the figure, overseas sales came to about $500 billion, down 7.4% on year, while local sales fell 5.2% to roughly $560 billion. 20 conglomerates saw their overseas sales dip. The decline comes on the back of a slowdown in the global economy, a prolonged slump in global oil prices, and oversupply from China. S-Oil, the nation's third-largest oil refiner, posted the biggest decline in overseas sales, followed by Hyosung and Lotte. Among the top 4 conglomerates, Hyundai Motor was the only to post positive growth, while Samsung, SK, and LG all recorded losses. Kim-min-ji, ARIRANG News.
With polling stations across Britain set to open in just over 24 hours from now, British Prime Minister David Cameron has admitted the decision on whether to stay in or leave the European Union will be very close. In an interview with the Financial Times, Cameron said a Remain vote would trigger a surge of investment into the UK. He forecast that a decision to stay would encourage businesses and job creators to funnel money back into the British economy. Cameron, who's leading the Remain campaign, also issued a warning to members of his ruling Conservative Party who say they will continue to fight for a Brexit if Remain only wins by a narrow majority. And that's all from me. Keep it tuned to ARIRANG for more in-depth coverage on North Korea's latest provocation and more throughout the day. Thank you for watching.